Welcome back, Internet, to another Reddit story. This one is malicious compliance. Basically, following instructions to the letter, even if it means screwing it up. Alright, let's get into it. Won't accept a 2-week notice? Okay, bye. Long-time lurker, first-time poster, mobile, yada yada. Complimentary Canadian apology. Sorry for the long post, let's get to the malicious compliance. Let me know if this post belongs here or not. I used to work in the deli department of a popular chain of grocery stores. We had our most incompetent manager, Clueless Potato, who was also our union rep, so you can't complain or get rid of her. I have no idea even if this is allowed, but this clueless fart has somehow accomplished this and little else. For example, we would have a Tuesday special that left us slammed to the point where people were getting upset with the wait times and how quickly it sold out. She would be scheduled for the time the special was happening and take her lunch. Immediately, once people were starting pouring, saying, "I can't handle this today," leaving me to serve 3 counters, fish, cold cuts, and hot food, with a crowd demanding our lunch special. So I learned to get creative with my annoyance in many ways, but I'll just post the icing on the proverbial cake. 3 of us were tired of our antics and planned all to quit within the same week, 2 days apart after Sam, our awesome assistant manager, announced he was getting transferred to a different store, closer to home at his request. The first person hands in her 2-week notice. No problem. Second person, let's call him Tim, goes 2 days later and comes by to see me at the counter. I was scheduled to work with Clueless Potato for another Tuesday special. Me. Hey, did you give your notice yet? Tim. She refused it. What? She can't do that. She said, "I don't have time for this," and shut the door on me. I stew for a few moments before a sudden eureka hits me. Well then, I guess I'll just quit right now. That would be funny. I don't even think she's worked a Tuesday special. She said that she doesn't have time for any notice, so I'm leaving. I packed up my things and headed to the door to leave with Tim. He wasn't scheduled to work that day, when Clueless Potato runs up, fastest I've ever seen her move, and stops us. Clueless Potato. "Where are you going? There's a lineup waiting for their food." I quit. She goes beet red. "You have to give me notice." Well, that's weird, because Tim said you don't have time for that. Clueless Potato looks at Tim, who nods casually, causing her face to turn a bold complexion of purple and red. "You still need to give me notice." That's BS, but here's your notice. I quit, and I'm leaving now. Goodbye, Clueless Potato. I heard from Sam that she called everyone at the last minute to try to get someone to do the whole Tuesday special, and ended up dealing with that madness herself for a change. Too long didn't read. Manager refused to accept 2-week notice, so I didn't give her any and walked out on my shift with her. For anyone thinking, this poor lady probably is overstressed with taking care of a huge multi-counter department. We of course tried the empathetic approach where we all went out of our way to help her with her biggest stresses, ordering and paperwork. The assistant manager, Sam, stayed an average of 20 hours each week to try to take care of all the orders and paperwork so she could stay in the department and do the less stressful work that we needed help with. She instead took that opportunity to use Sam as a scapegoat for all of her problems. She started to blame him for slacking on paperwork and never doing his orders. She started to complain to the assistant store manager, ASM, and Sam was starting to get written up for not doing Clueless Potato's job. I was working an entire 8-hour shift with her where she complained she had to stay in the office and do all the paperwork that Sam already had finished, and I was blasted all day with Candy Crush notifications asking for lives from her Facebook account. So I really don't believe she actually does any work in our office anymore. So fun fact about me, I've worked probably at 12 or so different places, and I've only given my 2-week notice twice. I mean, it usually gets to the point where I'm doing something and I've been kind of being like, hey, I need help, or I need extra time off. I've got a ton of stories about me quitting, but I'm not going to tell them here, but I'm not afraid to quit when I think that I've been done wrong. Yeah, so good on this guy. Police tell us to stop running red lights. Fine, we'll just extend how long it stays green. I live in a subdivision connected to a major road. The road out of the subdivision has a traffic light. In the morning, nearly everyone needs to turn left for work. Even if you want to turn right, you're simply stuck because there isn't enough room for more than one car. To compound the problem, the traffic light is green for no more than 5 seconds. We may get 4 to 5 cars out legally, then you have to wait another 3 to 4 minutes before the light switches. As you can imagine, this causes people to run the light. swerve around somebody they thought should have gone, etc. It's a grab bag of idiot cars, myself included. If you roll up to the light and you see that you are 15 cars back, you know you've just added 10 minutes to your commute, simply trying to get out of your subdivision. Well, because of all of our reckless driving behavior, the police communicated via our homeowners association that we needed to knock it off. They had a police car parked near our area every morning for a week to keep us on our best behavior. Our board tried to work with the city to lengthen the light, but to no avail. That's when a hero emerged. We get a random email to the Homeowners Association distribution list from an anonymous person. They laid out our plan for malicious compliance. There is a pedestrian crosswalk light at the before-mentioned intersection that basically goes unused. In my 10 years living there, I have never seen it used. There just simply isn't any pedestrian traffic. The subdivision hero devised a plan on how to use this crosswalk to our advantage. Basically, one person in the car simply needs to walk over there and hit the push button to cross, and run back to their car. When the light switches, we now get 30-ish seconds to alleviate our traffic jam. Everyone is joining in, and it's hilarious. My oldest daughter got into it the other day, and other cars in line were rolling down their windows and cheering her on. It's possibly the best neighborhood bonding experience possible. I'm sure our longer lights are screwing up something further down the line, but none of us really care. We're now on our best behavior since we have about 5 times longer to get through the light. So having a shorter light and having people drive through it like crazy people, like going around cars when they think that they're not going to go or whatever, now there's no excuse for that. And the police had every right to contact the homeowners association saying, hey, guys, knock it off. But then when the HOA went to the police and went to the city to say, okay, we see that this is a problem, can you just extend the light for us, please? And they said, no. Well, then what else do you want them to do? The homeowners association doesn't like my project car, so I've decided to park it legally in front of the neighborhood's grand entrance. For context, my family and I have recently moved into a rental house while our new house is being built. The rental is in the back of a gated community on a mostly undeveloped street. Yesterday, I received a letter from the homeowners association informing me that I am not in compliance with the strictly enforced by towing restrictions stating that vehicles may not be parked on the street overnight. In the letter was a picture of my project car, an old BMW, parked beside our house on the street. I decided to look up the Homeowners Association restrictions, which I haven't seen before since I'm a renter, and discovered I'm living in HOA hell. The street parking rule is just the beginning of a long list of restrictions, including one warranting a hefty fine for leaving the garage door open when not in use. This came at a huge surprise since several of my neighbors have parked the cars on the streets without problems since I've lived here, so I assumed I was okay. I can only imagine they've singled me out because my car is 30 years old. However, in my defense, it's very presentable and no way junky. Being singled out made me incredibly frustrated, to the point where I started doing my own legal research. It turns out my HOA has every right to tow my project car, since it's parked on a private street in the neighborhood. The good news for me is that the street just outside of the neighborhood is public, and it's 100% legal to park on it for any amount of time. Unfortunately for the HOA, the closest section of public street to my rental house is right in front of the nice gated entrance. Ironically, my old BMW has now become part of their image, and there's nothing they can do about it until I move out in a few months. Too long didn't read. My new HOA threatened to tow my project car. My compliance was to legally park it just outside of the neighborhood, directly in front of their main gated entrance. I would never ever want to be part of an HOA. I understand that HOAs are supposed to make your neighborhoods look nice, and keep all the riffraff out, I guess. But in my opinion, it's just a chance for Susans and Karens to control your lives because they need something to control. I would never want to be part of an HOA. You don't want us to talk about non-work related topics at our desks? First off, obligatory mobile formatting is crap. I work at a large healthcare organization in Utah, and today I was talking with a coworker, who I am training as he is new. We are a small team, 4 people, and this morning we were working on a task that he has almost got down. He is to the point with it that I watch as a double check of his process. While he went through the motions with this task, we were discussing the recent Game of Thrones episode and our feelings on it. Well, an hour or so into the day, we get an email requesting the non-work chit-chat to be avoided by our team lead, who chit-chats with their little brown-nosing golem all day. 95% of the time, we opt to work through our lunches and breaks and eat at our desks and whatnot. Well, not anymore. Today, the new guy and myself proudly took 2 15-minute breaks and a 30-minute lunch, sticking the fun police with the phones and a few tasks that her or Golem don't complete often enough to know how to do it. And I will be taking my breaks and lunches every day moving forward. I will not want to risk chit-chatting at my desk from now on. Too long, didn't read. Team lead said we couldn't talk about person topics at our desks. New guy and myself started taking our breaks and leaving them with a bunch of stuff they can't do. It took me a long time to realize, hey, if you got breaks and lunches coming to you, you should take them. Especially those 15-minute paid breaks. Like the place I work at right now, they say, well, with the stuff that we need to get done, sometimes we don't take our breaks just so that we can get it done. And I'm like, that's not how it should work. I mean, those breaks and lunches are for us, right? So if they give us tasks that we can't do, then maybe they should have more people. It's not up to us for us to sacrifice for the company. The company should sacrifice for the company. Thank you again for joining me on this episode of Reddit Stories Malicious Compliance. If you guys like what you saw, please thumbs up, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you guys in the next episode. So until then, later kids!